Hey guys, thanks for tuning in today. My name's Kevin.
My name is Brad.
So we're the creators of the Lego Starship and Super Heavy, and what we're gonna do in this video is break it down, hopefully not literally.
Hopefully not literally. We're gonna go into detail on how we came up with the idea for it, as well as what it has to offer and what we find to be the most challenging part of the build, what we find to be the most interesting part of it as well.
We're gonna do that right now. So we submitted this project to Lego Ideas, last week?
Yep.
And what Lego Ideas is, it's a platform that Lego kind of puts on that allows Lego enthusiasts to build their own designs and submit them to hopefully gather enough supporters or approval. About 10,000 people need to back a project. And if that happens, Lego will actually review that product and see if they want to make it an actual set.
So far, guys, we've gotten a lot of great support right out of the gate. If you're watching this for the first time and seeing this idea for the first time, you like it, check out the link below, click support, and help us get to those 10,000 supporters that we need.
And it will cost you $0. So this project started out one day when I was taking a jog, back when I used to jog. So this project kind of started one day last summer when I was taking a jog, kind of like how I used to do. No.
You don't have to be funny about
I
it.
know.
You could just tell it straight out.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be about jogging. You just say, I called you.
Right. So one day I was taking a jog. And I got a phone call from my brother here, my older big brother.
I regret every second of it.
Yeah. We both regret it. And he was like, hey, I have an idea.
After seeing his Falcon Heavy project take off,
Nice.
the next natural step is to think about the future.
So after I got that phone call, I decided to do a lot of research on the Big Falcon rocket and put together like this packet and then set up a meeting where we'd actually get together for the first time. There it is. And basically it just lays out all the stats of everything the rocket has to offer. That way we could be set up for success. So at the time of our first meeting, we were ready to go, and we decided that the first thing to start with would be the 31 Raptor engines. You want to tell them why?
It just made the most sense to start from the bottom and work our way to the top, mainly because the hardest part of this project was these Raptor engines and getting them all to fit
Such a narrow diameter, yeah.
Yeah, it was a narrow diameter, but it had to be symmetric. They couldn't be too big. They couldn't be too small. We really had to make it fit just about right.
So we decided if we could accomplish that from the get-go, then the rest of the rocket, even though it wouldn't be easy, it wouldn't be as much of a challenge. At least that's what we thought.
Well, that's what we thought, and it come to find out it was a lot harder than we ever thought it would be.
It was basically a challenge the whole way through. By the time that meeting ended, 3 hours later, at least. Yeah, we had the actual 31 engines built, and they fit inside the bottom of the rocket, but it was very sloppy, very fragile.
We felt a little bit disheartened afterwards, realizing this might be something that we bit off more than we could chew.
So after about a month of hardcore problem solving
and brainstorming,
that's right, we finally managed to complete the build of the booster part, and we decided to transition now into the Starship part.
So right out of the gate, we saw that there was going to be some problems. Elon Musk had gone from just the one delta wing to the 3 fins.
For example, this rocket is 8-sided. You might not be able to tell because it's so round, but there's 8 sides to it, but there's 3 fins, which means 8 doesn't get divided by 3 easily. That's fraction. And we had to somehow make them evenly spaced when there's 8 sides.
We had to use rocket science to figure this out.
Rocket science. But, we came up with a solution, and it was kind of an unconventional solution.
It was very unconventional. As a matter of fact, we had to use a few pieces that are probably older than most of you out there.
And this was actually a 2 birds, 1 stone moment, because not only did these hinge pieces allow us to evenly space out the fins,
but it also allowed the fins to actuate.
And it was moments like this that really motivated us to dive further into this project.
Because it became a problem after one problem after one problem.
Yeah, it was a fun game.
And it just gave us that momentum and that mental boost and that mental edge to really finish up the project as best we could.
Right. And then I guess the last piece that was kind of a challenge was the nose cone. And this was something that was in the back of my mind the whole time.
It was really a watershed moment, to be real honest.
Right. The first kind of rough draft copy I did just to kind of tinker around and see what kind of cone I could build was absolute garbage. I sent him a picture. I was like, hey, look what I created. And he was like, what is it? And that's actually where you kind of have to begin with these sort of things. And we got kind of lucky because the very next, rough draft that we created was the starting block of what we ended up with. And it was kind of ingenious the way that it even allowed us to add the forward canard fins. So after months of tinkering and blood, sweat, and tears and problem solving, we finally got the carbon fiber version finished. And we just took our professional pictures of the actual rocket when it was finished. And then what, the next day?
Oh, it's not even. Probably 18 hours later, Elon just threw out a little tweet saying, hey guys, guess what?
Curveball. He said radical design changes were coming to the rocket.
Which we just looked at each other like,
I can't remember if we laughed or cried.
oh, it was a roller coaster of emotion, let's say that.
So we decided to take a little bit of a break and just wait and see what happens.
Yep. Eventually we found out through our sources,
The internet.
that Elon had made just one change.
He decided to go from a carbon fiber composite material to a stainless steel alloy, which really only meant the only change that we would have to make is the color.
Since Lego doesn't make chrome pieces, we end up having to order all new white pieces, the exact same thing that we just had, so that way we could paint all of them chrome.
And it took us from mid-December to January to get all those pieces and paint them and kind of redesign the exterior part of the rocket. And I would say that it wasn't really such a big deal, but the only problem that I had was I had to paint these on by hand, these windows, and that required measurement beyond belief and steady hands, which I have not. So thank you, Elon, for sharpening my art skills. So now that we discussed exactly what it took to get to where we're at,
Now we're going to dive into the details of the actual rocket.
so this thing is 45 inches long and contains 2,316 pieces, give or take.
It stages just like the real BFR.
It's actually a really sturdy build too. The booster is about 25.5 inches long, meanwhile the Starship's about 19.5.
So to scale, this is a human. Again, the booster itself has 31 Raptor engines.
And the Starship has 7 either sea level engines or vacuum engines like you're seeing here. And as I said before, these fins can actuate. And then to put them back together, all you do is line them up and press.
And that's it.
The set comes with 2 horizontal display stands and 1 launch pad display stand. All right, Brad, so now that we discussed our entire build and what it took, what is your favorite part?
The guts.
The guts.
My favorite part of the hoses, the 16 hoses that we attached, which lie directly overhead of the Raptor engines.
And that's actually what we saw in the blueprints for the ITS. I think the multiplexual build was an aspect of the rocket both of us wanted from the beginning, because we wanted to keep our builders engaged. So in regard to the future, obviously changes are going to happen. SpaceX is still developing this rocket, and as those changes are made, we're going to follow right along with our rocket in the updates tab.
That's right. We're also going to be looking down our Lego dashboard comment page to see if there's any other suggestions, modifications, anything that you guys think you really want to see in our project, or suggestions that you had that might make this a little bit more fun. Please let us know.
Let us know, and we'll be sure to try our best to make those happen.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you guys are excited as we are about this project.
Yeah, and if you are, make sure you go down to the description, click that link. It'll take you right to our page where you can support this for free. We need to get to 10,000 supporters, guys, so let's do it. Let's make it happen. Thanks again. Godspeed.